Alright, I believe we're recording. Hey everybody, I figured I'd do another tutorial today on how to adjust the UV map. And this isn't a really in-depth one, this is just covering if you're splitting up an outfit. So, gonna find an outfit to split apart. Waiting and waiting, waiting and waiting. Gotta wait for it to load. What is this here? I've already got that installed, I don't need it there. It likes to install things in random places. Sorry it's taking a while. Alright, I see what I must do. Yes. Oh, my nose. It is wanting to be a jerk today. I will temporarily BRB since it's loading anyway, so just a second. Oh, it still hasn't loaded? Good grief. I was discussing plans with my mother for thick burgers and onion rings. Hum them. Load. I command you to load. Liz, let me hit that. It's not freeing up much, but you never know. End process day. Oh, well, I'll be dipped. Yeah. Now then, we're gonna enter body, and we're gonna find the top to split off. Because the top ones tend to be harder of the two to manage. Let's see. I think someone's already split this off, but we'll use this as a good example. Okay. I said okay. Remedy. Who wants me to do stuff, things? Like waiting. You don't want to wait. Hurry up. Hurry up, workshop. Okay, sorry again for the nose blowing. Just woke up a little while ago. Spoof. Now then, if you're gonna just take this part, you would need, at the least, your multiplier. Workshop. New. User. We'll just call it ripped top for now. You can call it something else, but this is just for sake of example. Top. Yes. Now then, we're going to go to high level detail because that's all we need, and we're going to rip this out too. So rip top again. Rip top. There we go. We've got that out. So now we get up in milkshape. And we can actually close this down for a bit. No. So we don't need to save that. Now then, we're going to import it. And if you're having a hard time finding your import options, I believe I covered putting in or preparing your milkshape as well, along with milkshape basics. If it's another video I've made, it's in here somewhere. Actually, I'll link it down below. Anyhow, you're going to delete these morph groups because you're not going to need them for right now. And we're going to hit select and we're going to do face. I do this because it's just a lot easier than selecting vertex by vertex by vertex. Because doing it that way, you can get one you don't need to get. And let's see, wireframe overlay, so we can double check. And you just do this. And I like doing it from the side view because it gets the other side as well. And the cats are fighting again. Fantastic. And Mom's yelling at the cats. Fabulous. Let's see. Let's get these ones, and these ones, and these ones. And after this, you gotta look over it very, very carefully. And sometimes it's better to go inside the mesh because here you can see the pieces I have missed. So you just get them on the inside. Go outside to double check you haven't gotten anything you shouldn't have. And go back inside. Let's see here. There we are. Double check outside again. And then we will hit, if I can zoom out enough, then we will hit the delete key. And there we have it. We have just our top now, which is fantastic. Now, I will admit, I do like this split here in the back, but I think it just goes down way too far, so we will cover also just shrinking it a little bit. Oops. We might want to swap back to vertices. Now, first we're going to hide our arms, because we don't need that. I should have had them hidden in the first place, but I goofed. We're going to select these. Try not to select the inner portion, because it's important that those stay as they are. So we're just going to grab these, and we're going to go to scale, and you just need the Y, because this is your up and down one. So we're going to hit X, not X, but point, so period 90, and then scale it, scale it, scale it, scale it down, and move it, undo the Z, and then pull it up. Yeah, it looks pretty okay to me. It's still a bit long, but I like it. So I'm going to select again, going to get these and move them up just a little further. And then we're going to grab this one and we're going to scale it out because as you can see it's tucked in a little bit too much. So we're going to unhit the Y and we're going to put 2 at the end of the X. And we'll do it for these 2 as well. And since this one's still a bit off at this angle, we'll move it. We'll untick the Y and hit the Z and then move it this way. And that looks a bit smoother in that regard. Yeah. Doesn't it just look spiffy already? I'll undo the wireframe overlay. Now here's the important part. We're going to hit new, none, and 1 second, wrong button. I've got these little texture patterns right here, and we're going to open up the blue checker one. Never this one, just this one, because this one confuses the heck out of me. But just this one, and we'll be using this one later. And don't worry about going, where are Quizzical Gen, where are they? Don't worry, I will have them down in the link in the description below. Credits to Cmar because they're the one that, well, as you can see, they're the one that made these. Oh, so hallelujah music to them for that because it makes things so much easier to figure out. No, my eye itches. Anyhow, we're going to. Oh wait, I missed a step here. Get up here. The dog wants to play apparently. Anyhow, before we can assign it to the mesh, we have to select it in groups, and now we can assign it. So remember, it is select your base group, and then new none, which is selecting the pattern you wish to apply, and assign. So now you can see it here, but oh no, as you can kind of see here, it's all scrunched up a bit here. So we're going to hit Control T to open up our texture coordinator. And I'm going to shrink it over this way, and I'm going to move the bottom over here so I can see it clearly. Oh man, this is a confuddled map. Oh, I missed a piece. It doesn't work that way, Snapface. Oh, I'll find that piece I missed later. Could have sworn I'd gotten every single bit of it. Oh well. Oh, it's in the front somewhere. Let's see where. Oh, wrong. Aha, there you are. Minor side subtract. Gonna hit this. Single vertex and delete. And there we go, now it's gone. That's one good thing about the texture coordinator as well. It will let you know if you've missed something. Now then, let's get to the real job. Let's see, we're going to so we're going to zoom in on the problem area, fit selection, going to move this over, tilt it, and going to bring this out a little more, and get the tools there so we can see what I'm doing. So I can see what I'm doing, really. And you gotta keep it on where it ended. And this is roughly where it ended. So that's one above. So that's this area right here. We're gonna select it. And we're gonna go to scale. This is for side to side, and this is for up and down. So we're going to 0.90 it and scale it. And don't worry if it goes up like that. It does that. Now we're going to move it and tick the X so it's locked, and then we're going to move this down into place. And you may have to shift it a bit more outside of that, so we're going to move this a bit further down as well. And move this up because I moved it up. You just gotta get it to where it'll behave the most. Ah, frig, I forgot to hit the move. Try to find a good middle area. And now we've got to hit these and get them moved. Well, actually, we should probably move both of them. So we'll get that and we'll hit scale again. We're going to untick the X and we're going to put 2 here. So scale. And there we go. It's straightened out already. Well, mostly. This side's still being a jerk face. So we'll have to move this side a little more out. Gonna tick the Y so we don't move it up and down, and just drag it. And there we go. That's got it straightened out down here for the most part. You just gotta get it as straightened up as you can, because at the moment we can't really have it be the way it is up here. Because that would require it being dragged back down to where it was. But don't worry. Actually, let me look again. Let's see, maybe if I do this then, move. Here. Ah, well, there we go. That was the ticket. If I can do it correctly. Yeah, okay, there we go. Never mind. But yeah, there we have it. And I will undo the wireframe really quick so you can see. We've got it all straightened out. It takes a little bit of working, but you've got to make sure that the lines are at least straightened up and are close to the original spacing that's in the area that's on it that you did not shrink down. Now then, the very important part. We're going to go back. We're going to reselect it. We're going to reselect it, and we're going to go to Materials, and we're going to change the pattern. We're going to change it to the UV clothing template. And as you can see, parts of our mesh are now green, and they shouldn't be. This is because when it was a part of the complete outfit mesh, let me reset, it didn't matter. They didn't have to worry about whether it should just stay at top or just stay at bottom, so they just put it in anywhere, anything and anywhere they could. Let me do this. As you can see, even the bottom portion of it's right here. So we've got to work on changing it so it's all in the red. That's one of the first and few times. Well, not first, but one of the few times it being all in the red is going to be acceptable. Anyhow, we're going to untick this, and we're going to select it. I don't know what this is. Let me move it, and let's find out. What are you? Oh, it's the back portion. Okay. We're going to move this over here, because I'm going to move a few things out. Believe me, it helps. And to help see things a little better, I'm going to go 0.5 scale. Now we get a full view of the whole thing. Makes everything look a lot blurrier together, but don't worry. It'll be better. We're going to move this over here. This is just to temporarily get things out of the way. Now then, we're going to select this and get up all in the grill of this part right here, because this is our important stuff. This is the stuff we need to make sure fits. Now, I'm going to tell you something super important. You see this piece, this chunk right here, and this chunk right here. Never, ever, ever move these pieces or any piece that happens to be right here, because those are the skin, or where the skin is meshed. And you don't move anything of this where the skin is meshed. Like these, you don't move these, because if you were to say move this right here, oh, if I could, did it select or not? Okay, select it. Oh, that's right, I've got the arms hidden. Anyway, let's just say for argument's sake that this isn't hidden in the mesh. The vertices aren't hidden, and if you move it here, it would, and if you had your knees exposed, like wearing shorts, then your hand would have the mapping of your knees. So anything that has exposed skin, don't move it. Don't move it, don't move it, don't move it, don't move it. For the love of all that is holy, don't move it. Cannot be said enough. Now then, we're gonna select, and since these aren't hidden, we're going to select as much as you can of the mesh. And for this instance, oh whoops, don't need to get to hands. I know they're hidden, but you never know. Gotta make sure you get everything. Actually, I've got a better idea. Yeah, we'll do it this way instead. Alright. For this instance, it's got a vest and a shirt. So I'm going to select the vest pieces, and I'm going to move them first. Because at the current time, they're taking up the most, they're taking up the most real estate. I'm sorry if I'm a little flustered with this, because I am just doing this on the fly. I did not plan this out, and I probably should have. Anyhow, we're going to select the vest pieces. And Those are part of the shirt, so I'm not going to get them. Just going to be super careful to get it all. Alright, and when you're sure you've gotten it all, try to move it. If you see parts of the vertices that are stuck, Control Z, have it snap back to where it was originally, then hit the select key and go again. But we're going to move these up over here, just for the time being. Oh wow, that's cool. Anyhow, yeah. We're just going to have these right here. That way we have this right here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to now select this and move it as well. Let's see. Select this and select this. See how much room we've actually got to work with, and we don't really have a whole lot. So we're going to have to deal with a lot of shrinkage. And we're going to hit scale. And since we need to have as much room as humanly possible for this, we're going to have to seriously shrink this mother. So we're going to hit period, and we'll say 70 for this. You don't want to shrink it down too fast. 70 is a good middle ground, so it's 30% each time. So scale, oh whoops, silly me, and it showed that I missed a piece too, so we're going to select that, and we're going to hit scale again, and do 0.70 for the X, and 0.70, oh, wrong, 0.70 for the X and Y as well. So now that I've done it correctly this time, we can hit scale, and it'll be small. Oh, mother frig! There. Let's try this again. Alright, now we've got it correctly, so we can scale it down. And we're going to move it over here. This has gotten all of our top in here. Well, let's see if I can... Yeah, here we go. We got a bigger version, and we can have it in here. Let's see here. Tips. It ain't going to kill it too much to have the tip ends moved up, so fit selection. Oh, maybe not. Let me see. Let's fit the selection. Get real up close into it. Select and move it up. It isn't going to kill the UV map, the mapping of it too much, so it's alright. Now that we've got all of our shirt portions in, we need to work on getting the vests back in. So we're going to reset it and then go to 0.5 and scale it down. So now we've got to worry about this piece right here, because this also is attached to this. So actually all of this is attached to the top shirt, so we should rescale them as well. 70.70, untick that. So 1, 2, and then we can move it. And it's all in the same line of size as the shirt. Now we've got to work on the other big real estate hog. Yes. And I've done goofed because I forgot to check. Because as you can see right here, this is part of the shirt, actually, not the vest. But it had part of the shirt mesh UV map with it, so we need to get those away. This ended up going a bit more in depth than I thought it would. But I suppose that's a good thing. So we gotta get real careful of this. Actually, I got a better idea. It'll save my brain. Just get the piece of the vest. Remove them. And just be careful not to get these pieces, because this piece right here, these U pieces, typically if they're one big piece, that means that they're the armpit pieces, I guess you could say. Oops. You gotta make sure you don't select any of them. Oops. Nope. Nope. Some pieces are gonna be a little harder than others, but it's okay. Because we need to get this out of we need to get the vest pieces out of the way anyhow, so it's better that we're getting this first. Now, let's double check that we got everything, and since we're not in the red area, it's a little easier to tell. So we're going to test and hit remove. And it doesn't look like we missed anything, so we will move this a little further up. We'll just move it right there. And we're going to select these pieces. And we're going to hit scale, and again, 0.70, 0.70, 1, 2, and then we're going to move it. Okay, maybe not 1, 2. There we go. That's more like it. And it's okay if you move them together, in this instance, because it's supposed to be a little off from the rest of it anyhow. So we're going to move them a little closer together. Going to hit the Y, and then just slide them together. Move. And I can probably hear a couple of you going, "The Quizzical Jen, won't this really make it smaller and make it harder for something else?" And yeah, it more than likely will. I think I still messed this up. 1 second. I don't think it's going to work. I'm going to scale it again, because I really think that the extra 70 was actually right. So, well, the extra 30%. So now we're going to remove it. So now I've got this here. And now we've got to work on our vest. Going to reset the size. We're going to move up here to the vest. We're going to select it. Now, because we've allowed the shirt to take up a bit more of the real estate on this end, we've only got this space here and this space here to work with for what little is left. So, we've got to really crunch it. Ugh. And hit Z to reselect everything and scale. Now this one we're really going to want to shrink down a good deal. So maybe 40%, so that would mean we'd shrink it by 60. And then maybe again by 80, because we don't want to shrink it too much. Scale. Move. And that's enough for this piece to fit, so let's see here. We're going to shift this piece so it is up here. I'm going to select this portion right here and move it. And I moved this piece up too far, but that's okay, because guess what? There's still a ton of room. So now we have everything we needed in the red. Everything is red now. Reset. And now the important thing is we gotta recheck the mapping of it with the checkerboard to make sure everything's okay and even. As you can see with a shirt, it's not even with each other anymore. These squares are still a lot larger than this. Don't worry. I will show you how we will deal with that. Right now we just gotta check on everything else. That was probably there before. Because sometimes the EA meshes do that. Simply just because of how it was designed. Anyhow, with this done, we are going to start working on our maps. We're going to start making the map board. But we're not going to close on a milkshape just yet. Hang on a second, it's taking a while to come up. There we are. Oh man, I did not mean for this tutorial to come as far to be as long as it is. Oh hey, potato chip. Sour cream and oniony. Now, forgot one major step. Oh come on now. Is my mouse dead? Okay, now it's alive. I'm just lagging. Now then, we need to get this, and as you can see, everything is it's back to this. So let me zoom in on this really quick. Good selection of area. Alright, I was just double checking that this was still in. So long as it's still within this area, it's fine. So, gonna reset, gonna full screen this mother, and we're gonna go 0.7 in scale. Simply because it keeps it at the largest size possible, while still giving you room to print screen the whole thing. And we're going to print screen it. Print screen, print screen, print screen. And if you don't, oh, and I probably should add this. If you don't know how to make this move around in the texture coordinator, you hold control and then you drag it around. I probably should have mentioned that a lot earlier, and I apologize. Anyhow, now that we've got that print screen, we can go Control New, well, Control N for New, and Control V to paste this in. Now we gotta zoom in. And if you don't have this here, the corner of the blue is right there. And you need to select this whole thing. Oh dear. Where am I? Whoa! Alright, okay, there we go. And right here we are. And you gotta make sure it reaches that end. Now we're gonna zoom out. And this is in CS6. I'm not sure if it still does this in the other versions. If it does, good. Pardon. Ugh. Anyhow, we're gonna use the hand tool and move around so we can see what we're doing. And we're gonna hit the crop key, which is C. Then we're gonna hit enter, enter, and that's successfully cropped it. One second, I need to blow my nose again. Ugh. Alright, now that we've got that, we're going to go to adjustment. Wrong, we're going to go to, oh wait, yeah, okay, that was, I was partially correct. We go to image size, and from 0.7, it would make it to, from the area we have cropped out, it makes it 716 all around. Now, we need to make it to the proper DDS map size. And that's going to be 1024, or if you'd like to go a little bigger, would be 2048. but I like to stick to the standard since it's, because if you do 224, no, not 224, 248, you would also have to scale up the maps you're using, because there's a little less stretching from that. So now that we've got this here, we can save it, because I'm going to save it this way. And what? And we're going to call this top edit. And apparently I hit the caps lock somewhere. Anyway, okay, yeah, that explains a lot. That's why that was. Okay, anyhow, we're going to open, and we're going to open up the original multiplier. Yes. And we need to get everything. So get your sleeves, get this parts right here. Don't worry if you get some of the pants, it's okay. Get this, and we're gonna hit copy, and we're gonna paste it. And again I hear cries of, but Jen, it's so big. How are we going to see what we're doing if we can't? I don't know, but it's blocking out the map, so it's a lot harder to see what we're doing. So I'm gonna get rid of these little portions right here because we don't need them there, and we're gonna hit A, copy to copy this layer, and we're gonna hit B. Now then, we're gonna check the opacity here. It's at 100%, but if we hit the 3, it's see-through. But I personally like to have it at 20 because it's a lot easier to see. At least for me. You can set it to a little lower or a little higher depending on how you like it. So now we're going to go back to this one. And if I can deselect everything, that'd be great. Going to get the erase tool out. Let me get my tablet actually for this. I'm just used to my tablet. It's a lot easier with the tablet. If you don't have a tablet and you still need to erase things, then you could just do this. Grab the lasso tool. Don't forget to miss anything. Delete. And then there we go. We don't have the pants pieces anymore. Hooray! Now then, let's see here. And the sleeves are okay. Oh, these were parts of the pants, so we don't need that. Delete. Delete. We're going to zoom in, and we're going to just select this portion. Since I copied everything over at once, you need to select different portions. And we're going to hit the M key. Well, we already got the M key. And we're going to right click and hit Free Transform. Free Transform just allows you to shape and size things as you need it. So we're going to get those there. Going to push this up here. And we're going to pull this down. You gotta make sure that it is completely within lines. Because it's gotta match, the way you shape everything, it has to match the UV map exactly. Otherwise it does not show up correctly. So now that we're gonna look at it, we're gonna save. And since that part comes over this, we're gonna erase it. Yeah. I'm gonna hit L to deselect. Now then, it's probably going to be a good idea for us to get all of the shirt and move it. So, just going to select it, carefully going around. And there we go. Then we can move this down out of the way. And if you didn't get all of it, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Just try to get all of it that you can. Because see right here, I clipped it a little bit. All you gotta do is go back up to, oh, I guess I didn't clip it as much as I thought. Oh well. I'm gonna erase that little piece because we don't need it. Just for the time being, we'll worry about these. We're gonna move this part right here because we don't need to worry about this right now. We're gonna worry about this part and then we'll worry about scaling this. Save. Save. Oh, dang it. We got something important again. We need to get the sleeve parts out of it, too. And, what am I gonna put the, oh, dang it! V and, no. Okay, we'll just move them there for right now. It's just important that they stay out of the way. Because those were a part of the shirt. Now then we're going to zoom back up here and we're going to select the pieces of the shirt. Well, not the shirt, but the vest. And we're going to we're going to bring that back up, and since we didn't really move these around that, well, we moved them around a lot, but we didn't move them too far away from each other. We can just move them over, zoom in a little bit so we can see better because it is really freaking small. Hit the M key and then retransform. And what's nice is you can drag it around to size it too. So size it this way, size it this way, so you can have it be in the frame all together. Carefully get it the lines matched up. Gonna squish this over this way. Pardon me. And now we need to squish it down. Squish it down. Oh, okay, I see that, okay. And sometimes you'll want to check back over here to see if it's really fitting in line with where it's supposed to be. So we need to move that up a little more. And we're going to hit the OK button. That's one thing that is really bad about shrinking the UV maps down, because it makes it a lot harder, because then the dots all blur together, but it's okay, don't worry. We'll be double checking it in a moment, and that's why I didn't have you close down milkshape. So we're going to get this piece, and we're going to move it and shrink it now too. So we're going to zoom it up here, and retransform. Shrink it down, drag it up. Shrink it down, drag it up, and drag it over. Oh, frig. And drag it up, and bring it down. So maybe a little over more. Right. Now when you think you've gotten it well enough, we're going to hit save again, and we're going to go back into milkshape. And this is something I find really cool, is you can go to workshop, or go to where you've got your top set up, and we're going to hit our PSD file. And as you can see, it still shows up quite nicely. Everything's in the place it should be. Well, almost. I need to fix this side apparently. I need to shrink it more on this side. So we need to, whoops, zoom in over here, select it, and of course have this turned on. So we're going to free transform, and we're just going to scoot it over a little bit. We're going to hit save again. Now we're going to double, and we're going to check again. And as you can see, it's fixed it. Now on this side it's fixed it, and up here it's fixed it, but oh gosh, what's this? So we need to go back again. Zoom in over here. Gonna select this small area, just this area. Gonna free transform and then hit the warp. This way we can just drag a little chunk of it. Hit save, and now we'll check it again. And there we go. Seems like the vest is just being a little jerk face though. Oops. Let's see. Transform and re-drag it out. But yeah, it takes a lot of editing just to get it to go right. Oh, dang it. Go back. No, not that far. Eh. Let's see, and apparently we need to change this because it, I guess it didn't go, oh yeah, it went too far, so we gotta select a little piece of it because you don't want to move the whole thing. So, save again. Oh, come on, I moved it over way far. Okay, this thing's just trying to annoy me now. Alright, there we go. Now we've got our scene there. I need to blow my nose again. Gosh. This has gone on way longer than I thought it would. So, just need to drag. As you can see, the sleeves are already in the right place, thankfully, so that's one thing it's not messing up. Now then, now that we've got that set up and fixed, roughly, we need to move the shirt piece. We're going to put that into its place now. So, well, all the shirt pieces, so we need to select the entire shirt thing, Gonna hit this to put it back. Because believe me, if you don't, it's ugh. And now free transform. Scale it up. Oh, scale it down. And my arm hurts. Okay. Just gotta make sure everything fits into place. Just so. Now we need to move, well, let me look over here. Put that back. Alright, and we'll move this over this way just a little more. Let's see here. It's looking pretty okay. It's looking lined up well enough. But now we gotta get to this. Because it's not lined up as it should be because of all the scaling we had to do to it beforehand. So, I'm going to select below this thing, or just as much as you can below it. Because if you still have the marquee tool selected, you can fix it. So, just try to get it even across the board. Get this too. Just gotta get everything in the bottom of it. And now we shrink it up in it. There we go. We've got our shirt pieces. Most of our shirt pieces. Because now we've also got to deal with getting these in. So I'll grab one of our armpit pieces. And it's the one that goes here. We're going to zoom it over here. Move around a little bit so you can see what you're doing. And free transform. And just shape it into place. And it may be a little harder to do it with the armpit pieces because they're a little harder to see. But don't worry. You can do it. I hit the check. Okay. Now that we've got that in, we gotta worry about the other pieces. Gonna get the U piece. Whoops, I don't need to crop. I can get my hand tool to come out and do what I want. And zoom, 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 zoom. Let's see, free transform. Get it up to there. Get the tops of these levels so we can just scoot them in. Scoot it in, scoot it in, scoot it in. Yeah. Sometimes it helps to smudge. Just don't do it too much because it can really wreck things. Plus, since a lot of the pieces here are dark and it's near the it's in the armpit area right here anyhow, you'll see. You'll all see. Don't worry. Let's see. Now we gotta find. Oh, there it is. Have that selected. And that's not gonna work. I forgot. Just drag it up here. Zoom in. Oh wait, can't do that yet because we gotta have our grid to see by. So free transform now. Like I said, I am doing this on the fly. I really should have planned this out, and I apologize. I just hope that this is enough for people to follow, that they get what I'm saying. I hope. And if not, I deeply apologize. I'll plan out a better one, I swear. Now then, the last things we've got to adjust are these right here. So, we're going to grab this. Actually, we just need to get this piece. Since these are just darkened areas. So, we're gonna just scoot this over here, zoom in on the area, move it over so I can see what the frig. Whoop. Up it goes. Whoop. And down it goes. And now we've got to move it in. And let's see, that's a little too much. Or is it not enough? Oh Lord. Well, we'll just have to test and see if that works. Now then, we're going to undo that layer, and we're going to select darkest color we've got here, which is a really dark gray. Going to undo the selection, and we're going to hit our background. We're going to just fill that with the color. Pardon. And we're going to save it. Now then, let's see. Let me clean it up a little bit, because we don't need some of this stuff here now. So, I'm going to hit save again, and now we're going to put it into milkshape to test it. And see, everything looks pretty okay. I'm going to move that up, I see. So we'll go in we'll go back into Photoshop, bring that up, zoom it over here, and we will get this and hit the V key, do this, and we will move it up just a little bit. And now this is a huge space. But not to worry, we've got this. We got this. Just smudge out the pieces over here, and then you're going to go up here and select some of the area. It's right here. Going to copy it and paste it, and drag it down to here. It might also be a good idea to retransform and flip it. Now we're going to shrink it up, move it up a little closer. So we've got this here. Now then we're going to hit our J key. We're going to shrink it down. And our J is basically the bandage tool. Yes, I know I need it. So we'll Alt and we'll click. Oh, it would help. 1 second. We're going to combine the layers by hitting Control E. And now, I forgot to do that. I'm a dense turn. It's not perfect, but it works. And just do it as often as you need to. And then we'll get our smudge tool. We'll shrink it down a little bit so it's to size. And just smudge it. Smudge it good. And if there's a little dark line over here, you can smudge over it too to get it to go into where it should be. We'll hit save again. And now we'll double check it. See how it looks now. And see, now it looks a lot better. It's not perfect, but it's better. And some of the lines aren't fitting in, so you've got to go back and fix them. So let's see, what lines aren't in? So we'll go over here, and we'll go free transform and warp. This way we can freely move pieces of it around to go into the UV map area that we need it to be in if it's standing a little further out than it should. Then hit OK, and just do that to the other side. Believe me, the warp feature it saves a bunch of time. Emphasis on should have that. So gonna have to whoops. Gonna have to resmudge an area. Save, and let's try again. And there we go. We now have a top that is completely within the area. And now that we've got this checked and done, we can export it. So we're going to hit our File, Export, and we're going to scroll down to Scissors for Subject. And we're going to label this one for Edited Top, just to call it that. And we're going to call it base because it's just got the one morph group, which is the base. Okay, now then. I'm going to clear this because we don't need it up currently at the moment, but I'm going to leave it mainly because I'm going to leave it mainly because we are probably going to have to edit the morphs, and we'll get to that. Don't worry. But now that we've got this as a decent texture, we can get to work on making our alpha. And we're going to need our UV map up again for it. So we're going to go to Channels, and you see this right here? This is the Add Layer button, but guess what it does here? It adds our alpha. Now, for the alpha channel, it's basically what determines what will be seen and what won't be seen. Any area that is clear in the alpha channel means it will be seen. If it's black, or in this case, as you can see, red, tint of red, it will be covered. So we just gotta get all we can of this goodness. And hit Control D. And don't forget your things right here. Control D. And zoom in a little bit here and there to double check it to make sure you got everything. Like right here, I missed some. So we gotta bring a little bit of it down. And see, now we've got all of it exposed. But right here we got a little bit of the tip exposed of the neck, so we gotta recover that. You think it wouldn't matter much, but believe me, it does. It does. It's a jerk that way. And we're gonna save it. And we're gonna undo this. And we are going to hit File, Save As, DDS. Yes. And you want to always save it as interpolated alpha. So save it. Ugh. Now then. We no longer need this up, so we can close it out. So what else? What else? What am I missing? What am I missing? We're going to need to make our morphs. So we're going to, let's see, we need the Meshkit up. You're also going to, you need to have a morph group already exported, something to use as a reference. But for Meshkit, there'll also be a link to it below. You need to open up to Auto Tools for WSO and Auto Create Morphs. we're going to select our morph, which would be our base. That's the one we're going to add morphs to. Now, back to the reference mesh. It's better if you're in workshop, you go to whatever group you're working with and hit singed. Because the singed one is the one that will have it. Let's see, where is it? No, here it is. And for this, I'm going to use, I think, yeah, that's it. We're going to open up our bird top. Now this, I have it selected because that is the one that also has the pregnancy morph. So this will be for say, pregnant women as well. So now that we've got it morphed, we can bring it back in and say edited top morph. Oh, whoops. Edited top morph. If I can spell it correctly. I'm just embarrassing myself all across the board today. Okay, save. Alright. With that done, we don't need the Meshkit up anymore. Now then, we're gonna re-import the file because for whatever reason, sometimes things just go awry. We're gonna open it up, and as you can, well, if I can zoom it in, as you can see, it's got its morph groups now. See, it's got its little morph groups. It's all awesome. And what you gotta do is you've gotta double check the mesh because sometimes dark splotches will appear. So we're gonna hide that. And here's our pregnancy morph. It's a little jerkier than it should be, so I'm gonna fix that really quick because it's gotta be more rounded than that. So we're gonna move it just a little bit out more. And actually, let me get these two. Just for whatever reason, pregnancy morphs typically don't like to behave, but it looks like in this shirt they did very well for once, so that's a plus. Let me get that out a little more. There. So now we've got it for pregnant ladies too. Yes. Now we're gonna hide that because we gotta look over the other mesh groups. That's probably fit sticking through there. Yeah, it was. And it's looking like all the other groups are doing very well. We can hide the base because we know that's okay. And the thin's looking alright, except for we can kind of see right here it's got these overly bright patches, so we might want to fix that. I'll hide the back. That way we can just concentrate on the front. Zoom in. Select the areas that is a part of the problem. And we're going to go to align normals. And see, there we go. The overly bright areas are gone and they're dealt with. Oh, looks like I missed some. And there we go, see? We don't have to worry about it. And we're gonna hide that. So that shows that everything is looking to be alright, but we've got to check one last thing. And that is how well it fits in with other bottoms. And let's see, for this we're gonna need a, see, that's, okay, that's for teens, I think. Ah, here it is. Because this, you can consider this as the bare minimum for how much you can be in. So we can hide our base because we know it's gonna fit in there. We're gonna hide everything but the fat because the fat morph tends to be the one that personally gives me the most trouble. And we're gonna hit color groups, and as you can see, there's quite a bit of it that's showing through, as well as quite a bit the top going too far out. So we're gonna hide our top. And we're going to select it and hit Control-H to hide the vertices because we don't need to edit the bottom. Going to bring that back in. We'll hide the arms because we don't need to edit them. And we're going to zoom in on the problem areas. And we'll have wireframe up so we can see a bit better. So, the problem area extends from here. So we're going to go and move the pieces out as far as you need to move them. And I will say it typically helps to move it a bit further out than it should be. Mainly because when it comes to these sort of things, it loves to bring up new morphs that will not behave with it, so. There. Now we've got our back fixed. Now we need to fix the front. Which really all it entails is bringing it in a little bit. So we'll just move it in a little. So we'll undo the wireframe overlay so we get a view of how smooth it is, just to double check if there's anything we need to fix or not fix. And it looks like it's fine in that regard. So we can, let's see, now let's double check over here. And as you can see, to me it looks a little close. So I'm going to select everything. Try not to get I'm going to try not to get the pieces of the that. So we're going to hit scale, and 0.2 should just do it. Oh, I got part of it. Dang it. Yeah, what can you do when you live in a shoe and ain't got a soul? I know I'm saying that wrong, but scale, and we'll move it up by just 2, and that should do it. Just to doubly ensure that it's okay, that nothing goes where it shouldn't be. Now then, we're going to hide that, and we're going to expose the other problem area, the fit morph. The thin, pregnancy, and base typically don't give me any problem, but it is almost always, always, always the fit morph and the fat group, because of how extreme they are. Oh great, I got the same color groups, that's wonderful. So, we're going to hide our arms. And instead, this time, I'm just going to cheat a little bit. We're going to select the bottom pieces of it. I'm going to get that. And we're just going to scale it up. So scale, well, we don't need to scale the Y, so I'll leave that out. But we'll scale the Z. So we're scaling it all around. Da-da. Da-da. And we'll move it back a little bit because it's the back, the portion in it tends to be the posterior that tends to be the biggest problem. So I'm also going to grab the back part, and drag it out just a little bit more. And there we have it for the back. It also tends to make it look like the Sims got a more posterior than they really do, but hey, what can you do? Now then, better double check the other ones then, since it's sticking out so far, because for a top that's like this, it's not typically made to work with other bottoms because, hey, it's just meant to work with one, so you gotta double check. So I guess I should double check them all. And yeah, see, it doesn't typically do that with the base ones, but it helps to just edit them anyway. So I'm gonna select it all from here instead, because we don't need to edit at the top, because the top's fine. But we're gonna scale it out, just in case. Because you're gonna have to scale it out for the pants that we'll be wearing. Because these are the kind of things that most shorts and pants are going to agree with, but if you're going to try to wear a skirt, it better be a thin one, because otherwise it ain't going to cut. And that looks pretty good for that, so hide that, hide that, so we'll hide the face, select, hide, and groups, special. But yeah, you really, really do need to edit everything. So, select. We're going to bring it out just a little bit farther. Whoops. And it looks like we're going to have to really fix the badonks area. So, we're going to just select it. And, maybe not that last little piece, but we're going to just drag it back. And it's looking like we're going to have to edit the sides too, so we're going to select it. We'll select everything except, well, as I say that, we'll select everything but the very, very front, because that's fine. It doesn't need to go any further. We will scale it just a little bit. But it looks like it needs to be scaled to the sides more, so. Actually, let me just select these then. There we go. Now our bottoms are sufficiently covered. And I'll just drag it out a little bit just in case. But now, as you can see, with the pregnant morph, we can't just, we're going to have to bring it in a little bit as well. So we'll select it, and we'll just drag a little bit in at a time. And of course, adjust it to be a little more rounded as it needs to be. And there's our pregnant morph. Ouch, my leg. Wah, 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 boo, boo. Oh dear, we seem to have a little bit of it sticking out. That gets them both, and we can move them in. There we go. And let me grab these and move them back as well. That should be enough. There's her pregnancy mark too. Now then, let's hide. We can get rid of the special now because we don't need it up. And I'm gonna double check the thin one because luck would have it, it would need fixing too. Zoom in over here. My eye itches. Yeah. Let's see, and I think it's good, so we're just gonna scale it to be safe. So scale, scale, scale. And then I'll grab this part right here because it's not going out as far and just move it to here. Because you gotta make sure you try to give as much room as you can for this stuff. Now we'll undo the wireframe, and it's not sticking out so far under here that it's noticeable, so it's okay. Now then that's done, we can delete the leg grooves because we don't need them anymore. And we can re-export this as our morph grooves now that we have them edited. Wrong area. Edited morph top and save. So we've got everything just about. Oh dang, where'd my pen go? There it is. I can't lose my tablet pen. Just a second, my cat wants in. Oh, come in, kitty boy! I got my cat! Sorry about that, just my mom's asleep, so I had to let him in. I'm sorry about that really long pause and delay. Oh gosh. So yeah, we've got this now, so we can move that down and we can open up the workshop. And while I wait for that to show up, let's see, animate, no, tools. This is what I was trying to show everybody last night, but apparently FF Split didn't catch it all. Sad face. Nope. Yeah, see these black smudges that showed up? It's okay. Because these are just placeholders till the game loads, so we don't need to worry too much about them. Yes. File, export, top, medium. And just do it again. And go to the right spot. A little over half for that. Good, there are no holes. I must have hit caps lock again. Alright, now then we can make a new project, open up the cloth, and now that we've got all this done, we no longer need milkshape up for anything, so we can completely close it down. While we wait for that, we need to finish making our, wrong button! So open, and we need to open up the top edit, because we need to make our other maps while we wait for this to load. So, we're going to go image and adjustments, because first we're going to make our specular map, which is just changing the brightness to -77. And then there we go, there's our specular map. So, save as, 1, 2, 4, pop. And then we undo that, and we'll add one layer, because this is making our map, our mask now, so we need red. This will be our initial shirt color. Now we need yellow, which is our vest color. And I don't think the thing had anything for the buttons in their color, so I think I'll just leave that as is, except for these buttons. I want them to have color, so I will hit the new thing again. Would you work with me, for frick's sake? Come on! Having something selected does not stop you from making a new layer. Good gosh. I'll zoom in, hit the brush, and we need to get a small version and shrink it down, and break. And we gotta zoom in so I get it right. That might be too much. Alright, and there we go. Now the shirt there has its button. Well, the vest has its buttons. So we will save it as a DDS again. Now this time, because we only have 3 channels, we need no alpha. So we'll save it as DTX1, because that'll just scrap the alpha. Alright, with that done, we can delete these layers because we don't need them. And we can get to work on making the bump map. Now then, we will, let's see, mode, adjustments, brightness and contrast. We need to up the contrast, and I'd like to do it between 45 and 50. It's a bit too high, I know, but I like it, I really do. So, it makes everything pop out a little bit more. So now that we've got that, we can hit filter and NVIDIA tools, normal filter. And everything's already set up to make it as you need it to be, so okay. But we're not done yet. We need to go to our channels and go to red. Hit Control A, because we gotta select everything, and hit copy. And then we're gonna copy the red channel to the alpha channel. And then we're gonna copy the green channel to both the red and the blue. Mainly because blue isn't really used, so you just gotta copy green over to it. But between this and this, there can only be one, and you need it to be the alpha. So, file, save as. And the bump map is very, very important to have. You always need a new bump map. Some people just prefer having just a light gray thing as their bum map, which is perfectly okay. But I just prefer to have it because I think it adds a little, helps the details show up a little more. But that's just my personal preference. Now then, it should have loaded. Well, that is a derp on my part, but anyway, we'll go to everyday. And now we gotta wait for top to load. I thought the tops were already loading, that's why I was doing all that. Oh, stretch. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Waiting and waiting, 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 and waiting. But since we don't really need these up anymore, we can just close them down. Yeah, PSD, save it. So, we just gotta wait for this to load. What is this? Is this... Ew, what the... Ew, that's gross. I don't know what it is, but it's gross. Oh, great. The mouse pad on my computer was activated. I know this has already been going on for a very long time as is, so I'm just going to stop recording here, and I'll start recording again in just a little bit to finish this. So, I'll see everybody in a bit, okay? Okay.